Block Inc. Soluciones empresariales para la nube. Cloud Computing.
Usted tiene grandes ideas para simplificar el negocio y aumentar las ventas. Pero para eso se necesitan aplicaciones empresariales y estas siempre han sido muy caras, especialmente en estos tiempos que corren. Detrás de cada una hay un complejo universo. Necesitan un centro de datos con espacio de oficina, alimentación, ancho de banda, redes, servidores y almacenamiento. Un enrevesado conjunto de software y un equipo de expertos para instalarlo, configurarlo y ejecutarlo. Necesita entornos de desarrollo, prueba, fases, producción y fallos. Si hay un problema, buena suerte. Hable con el servicio de asistencia técnica y como no tienen ni idea, le echarán la culpa a otro. Y cuando aparezcan nuevas versiones, podría actualizar, pero tal vez destruiría todo el sistema. Y cuando multiplica estos quebraderos de cabeza por cientos de aplicaciones, se comprende por qué las empresas de gran tamaño no consiguen las aplicaciones que necesitan. Las pequeñas empresas no tienen la menor oportunidad. Cloud Computing es una forma mejor de gestionar su negocio. En lugar de ejecutar las aplicaciones uno mismo, se hace en un centro de datos compartido. Así puede comenzar rápidamente y a un coste menor. Es como Gmail. Con Gmail necesita servidores y almacenamiento. No. Un equipo técnico para que siga funcionando. No. Debe realizar actualizaciones. No. Cuando utiliza una aplicación que se ejecuta en la nube, solo tiene que iniciar sesión, personalizarla y empezar a usarla. Ese es el poder de Cloud Computing. Está cambiando nuestra forma de pensar en el software.
Salesforce, casos de estudio.
Salesforce was really different in its approach. It was so easy to configure and so quick to market. It really offered flexibility that we hadn't seen in any other system. And we knew when we went with Salesforce that we weren't just getting a CRM, we were getting a system that would help us in other areas as well, and at a very reasonable cost.
I love the way they can come in and facilitate the different business requirement sessions to make sure that we get an application that fits our business processes. They do a great job at kind of leading and directing the discussion. And then the second thing I like about it is they bring a wealth of information and a lot of background to these business requirement sessions. And so they've got a good background of expertise we can draw on. We don't want to end up out in left field with the way that we use the application, and they're able to let us know how other customers are using it in similar ways, and that can help us craft the right kind of solution.
Salesforce Analytics is the easiest way to get the insights you need to make smarter business decisions. We all have questions about our business, and when you get the answers, it makes a big difference to your performance. You've probably tried complicated reporting tools, but got frustrated because they're so hard to use. Or you went to IT for help, but they told you you'd have to wait, and wait, and wait. With Salesforce, the wait is over. It's easy to get the answers you need to make the business more productive. Let's take a look. As a sales manager, you live and die by your sales forecast. With Salesforce, you get forecast alerts pushed to you in real time, right in your chatter feed. Your forecast just turned green, which means you've hit your quota. Someone must have closed a big deal. You can click through to your dashboard to take a closer look. Wow, it looks like Doug just landed the biggest deal of the quarter. Now you can help the whole team by asking Doug what he did right. Doug responds, and others even jump in to share their insights. Now everyone knows how to win more against this new competitor. As a sales rep, you now know how to win, but you also need to manage your day. Making a quick report to prioritize your calls is easy. Just grab your tasks, find the data you want, and drop it in. And with Salesforce, you don't need IT's help or any special training. You can even add a custom or calculated field in seconds. Now that your calls are lined up, it's time to look for more leads. It looks like Google AdWords has sourced a number of your deals. Back on our dashboard, we confirm AdWords is also generating the most leads overall. And if you want to see campaign ROI, you can drill into the report, search for the field, and just drag it into place. Now you've got a clearer picture of what's working well in marketing. And you can quickly modify the chart to make it even clearer. Now you know AdWords is generating a lot of leads, but it looks like Twitter is even more cost-effective. With Chatter, you can share your insight instantly with everyone. Your sales execs see it, and so do your colleagues in marketing, who can then collaborate on your analysis and figure out how to invest more in what's working. It only took you a few minutes to gain insights that would normally take weeks for an expert to get from those complicated old BI tools. Whether you're a sales rep, a manager, or a CEO, Salesforce gives you the tools to get the answers you need and share them instantly with everyone. And your business doesn't stop when you're away from your desk. You can access Salesforce dashboards and reports from your iPhone, iPad, or BlackBerry. With Salesforce Analytics, it's easy for everyone to get insights on important questions, to collaborate in real time, and to make the best business decisions.
Well, I think that when SunGard engaged in the relationship with Salesforce, that one of the first things that we had to answer is this secure? We do have very important client data that we're storing, and that really was the key to opening the door, is going through that very rigorous process of passing the legal tests. And once we could get past that, then I think we could really focus on the functionality that Salesforce offers.
All these things, but all these other vendors are doing everything. And so I'm really delighted to introduce you today to Andy Brown, who is head of strategy at Bank of America. Please welcome Andy.
Welcome, everybody. I mean, my perspective is that every technology innovation has its day, and you don't know exactly when that day is going to come about. When you think back over the last 40 years, yeah, this is really grey. I am trying to diet, but when you think back over the last 40 years, what you've seen is one wave of innovation build on the prior wave. Whether it's the 70s, the move to mid-range, the 80s, the move to client-server toward the end of that decade, the 90s, the move to the internet for Web 1.0, and now the move to cloud. And all of these things, when you look back, it's easy to see when it started, but when you're actually in the eye of the storm, often it feels like it's not possible to invest. Because if you think back, 1970, 71, 1980, 81, 1990, 91, and 2000 and 2001 were all quite tough times economically, which unsurprisingly, is the place we're finding ourselves in today as well. And in those times, it's my contention that more innovation is done than at the times when things are easier. And the reason is because there's no choice. Our budgets are reduced. We have to make different decisions than the decisions we would otherwise be making, and sometimes harder decisions. We have to take more risk. We have to drive more value, and so on and so forth. So with Web 2.0, my thoughts there are that QoS and SLAs are probably the most important thing from an enterprise adoption perspective. Clearly, the cost per unit that we've seen and the integration that we've seen today are two things that are already there. So it's almost impossible for any enterprise to say they've got better scale than the internet. One example from my past there is, after 9/11, one of the things I learned was the only scalable, reliable network in the world is the internet, because it has more routes and more paths than any other network, and you can't build one that's that big or that diverse. So for me, consumer web is enterprise web. There is no difference now. Those things are joined together. And customer-centric and service-centric are two messages to take back to your business executives around how we as IT add value to this ecosystem. What we saw today with Service Cloud is that invasion is complete. It's web service integration that allows the enterprise to participate in the consumer internet rather than vice versa. And there's a real subtlety in there that those of us who have been advocating service-oriented architecture for a long time, haven't missed, which is consumer or customer-oriented architecture is the key way to deliver service-oriented architecture.
Salesforce. Soluciones. Dashboard.
You can hover over any chart element and get the specifics at a glance. Let's look at this Q4 Opportunities by Stage chart. We know the basic summary of this chart just by looking at it, but when we hover over the different components, we now get the fine points of each part.
¿Por qué elegir Block Inc? Block Inc. es una empresa global que provee aplicaciones y servicios corporativos con su foco de competencia en software como servicio, Software as a Service, aplicaciones personalizadas en la nube, adopción de Salesforce, gestión de datos, business intelligence y servicios avanzados de mercadeo digital. Poseemos una pasión por la excelencia en la programación de software. Tenemos talento que puede solucionar sus desafíos informáticos y volver realidad las ventajas del modelo de computación en la nube. Nuestra experiencia se traduce en resultados para su empresa. Contamos con un equipo de expertos en el análisis de la información y de la misma manera ponemos a su servicio todo un equipo editorial para la generación de contenidos profesionales. Calificaciones del equipo. Block Inc. es la representación para Colombia de Mansa Systems, un ISV Partner Consulting registrado de Salesforce que posee 6 profesionales certificados en administración y desarrollo de aplicaciones para Salesforce. Con una calificación de 5 sobre 5 dada por nuestros clientes en 50 proyectos realizados en esta plataforma, nuestros resultados hablan por sí solos. Nuestro equipo de trabajo se encuentra ubicado estratégicamente en Estados Unidos, en la misma sede de las oficinas principales de Salesforce. Además, contamos con centros de outsourcing propios en India, China, Costa Rica y un completo equipo profesional en Colombia. Servicios. Lo que no se puede medir, no se puede manejar. Una imagen vale más que 1000 palabras. Mansa System combina el conocimiento de aplicaciones de profundidad con décadas de experiencia empresarial para crear una estrategia, desarrollar e implementar soluciones de inteligencia de negocios que faciliten la toma de decisiones estratégicas en todos los niveles de su organización. Tenemos claro que aquello que no se puede medir no se puede manejar adecuadamente. Por ello, todas nuestras soluciones tienen en su origen una orientación hacia la medición y el análisis visual de la información. Nuestra especialidad es la implementación y el desarrollo para aplicaciones de Salesforce, teniendo en cuenta herramientas principales como programación en Visual Force, force.com, integración de database.com, Apex, Triggers y diseño de interfaces para usuario en Force o Sites, desarrollo de sites para Salesforce, mercadeo digital y soluciones comerciales para su equipo de ventas, integración de bases de datos con Salesforce, creación de reportes e indicadores para todas las bases de datos, programas de mercadeo y aplicaciones de su negocio en la nube. Block Inc. Soluciones empresariales para la nube. www.blockinc.co